Let's make a moth using symmetry inspired by Mexican folk art. To start, you're going to fold your paper in half and unfold it. Then you're going to take black paint and paint on one side of the fold, half of your moth. I'm starting with the body of my moth, and you want to work in smaller sections. When you're done painting your first line, you're going to close your paper, pat the back, not too hard, and unfold it. And it's going to print a perfect symmetrical print of what you painted on one side. Continue doing details of your moth. Don't forget things like antennas, wings, all the details that you would want to add in black. If your print doesn't print at first, it's okay. You can either leave it, paint over it, or try the process one more time. Make sure that you're adding enough paint on your lines, but not too much that it's going to smear. It's okay if it smears because these are not going to be perfect. Nothing in nature is perfect. And the whole point of this project is to have fun making symmetrical art. So if you make a mistake, just go with it because it's going to print on both sides and look like you were supposed to do that. If you rub the paper too hard, that's where it can start to smear. So if those bother you, keep in mind the pressure that you're putting on your paper. When you're done with your body, you're going to go in with the color now. Try to look at the guides for the folk art and add different shapes and elements that remind you of that. I'm adding 2 big circles because I love when moths have patterns that look like eyes. You don't have to use all the colors. You can use whatever colors you would like that are available to you. You're going to continue the same process of painting a design on one side, folding it over, patting its back, and then pulling out your print. When you're done adding all the colors, you're going to outline your shapes with black. If you would like to do this process on both sides, that's fine. Or you can use the technique that I've showed you of painting on one side and then rubbing it together. When all your shapes are outlined in black, then you can decide if you want to add color in any more spots. Wherever you don't add color will just be brown. And if you like it like that, then you could be done. I wanted to add more color so that mine is really vibrant and pops. Again, if you want to just add it to both sides, that's fine. But if you'd like to continue the process of adding it to one side, go ahead. The smaller details that you add, the less paint you need. If you're trying to add a small, careful detail, but you add a lot of paint, it's most likely going to smudge and blur into other shapes. When you're done with that, you can go in with some white to add some fun highlights. I added them to all the shapes that I painted, including the wings and the antenna. If you want to add things like dots, small lines, or just little details, go ahead and add those now. Remember that again, it's not going to be perfect, and that's okay. If you would like it to look more perfect the way that you're drawing it or painting it, remember that you can always just skip the step of folding it and paint it on both sides, but it might not be exactly the same like if you had used this technique. I added a highlight to my wings to really make them stand out. That's optional if you want to do it. When you feel like your moth is done, go ahead and bring it to the drying rack and make sure that your name and teacher is on the back or the corner.